Be hurricane prepared. Made possible by Olympus Insurance. On the web at olympusfl.com. Evacuating due to an approaching hurricane can be one of the most difficult tasks that coastal residents have to deal with. Much of that anxiety can be eliminated if you learn ahead of time exactly when you may need to evacuate and then develop a plan to effectively do so in a timely manner. In this segment of Be Hurricane Prepared, we'll take a close look at how to best develop an evacuation plan and avoid needless hours on the road.
I will tell you that it is primarily risk-based, meaning what is happening with the potential storm surge threat, what are the most vulnerable areas of a particular community as with its adjacency to the shoreline, what might be indicative or historical in terms of storm surge flooding or even localized flooding related to the hurricane. We want to get you out of harm's way, number one, so that we don't have to use rescuers and put their life in danger for unnecessary rescue. If you're in a modular home or possibly a mobile home, we worry about the safety in some of those locations, so we want you to go into shelter, particularly if you have a mobile home park that is vulnerable from flooding or storm surge, or maybe even an older park where some of the modular homes may not be as robust in terms of wind. The official voice really is always local government, whether it's county or municipal. Those are the folks in the trenches that know exactly what's going on related to your local disaster. When you hear from local government, what you need to be paying close attention to is what are the specific local instructions. If they give you an evacuation order, it's time for you to heed that evacuation order. If they're re-entry instructions, you need to heed those instructions. There might be certain timelines or certain requirements. Maybe a local government wants as part of its evacuation or re-entry to make sure that you've got the proper identification in order for you to get back. But most importantly, local government is listening to its emergency responders, it's listening to its utilities, those folks that have the information most pertinent to that emergency information in real time. So listening to that local government official for their instructions, verifying that if time allows. If not, you need to take it to heart that if they say it's time to evacuate now, they mean it. If it's time to shelter in place now, they know, because that emergency is part of what they're dealing with, not only for the responders, for the protection of the community, for the infrastructure, for the evacuation timing, etc. So your best voice is the official voice from your local government. Well, part of that effort to minimize your stress and evacuation is building that family action plan, doing that planning ahead of time just like your emergency manager does to plan and prepare. Sit down with your family members and say, hey, what if we have this hurricane event and it causes an evacuation, or what if our home is threatened in the wildfire interface related to wildland fire? You make those plans, you make a checklist, and you rehearse just like we do in local government. You practice those things. Do you have those important papers bundled up and ready to go? Do you have a communications plan for your family? What if the kids are at school and dad is at work and mom has to relocate due to some type of emergency event in the neighborhood? So you take all those things and you map those out. And if necessary, even for a local shelter, maybe you rehearse the drive time so that you make sure that you know and know what alternative routes are there. It's all about being prepared. You will find that if you have been through that experience before and you weren't prepared, you realize, number one, that a little bit of common sense, a little preparedness would have taken you a long way, taken a lot of the stress out of that situation. So it's being in touch with local government, monitoring conditions in your community, building that family action plan, doing that checklist at home, and taking time to get your head in the game. Be engaged in individual and family preparedness. So when the time comes and you have to respond for your evacuation and for your safety, you've got a plan and you're ready to go. When it comes time for reentry and you're trying to get back into your neighborhood, back into your community, there's some things you should have with you. Number one, your community may have a license plate program or a windshield sticker program, something that requires you to pre-register your residency with the local government. So you don't want to wait till the last minute to get that done. Have that with you well before storm season or well before your wildfire season. So having that paperwork in order with your local government. Secondly, validating your residency. Not only your driver's license, maybe your water bill, maybe your electric bill, some other credentials that you can show to local officials that validates your need to be in a reentry area because you're checking on your home.